Namaste.
Good morning, sir. Am I visible, audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely visible. You are absolutely audible. A very good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. A very good morning, everyone. A very good morning to the dignitaries, faculty members, and all dear students.
Okay, ma'am, can I just make a request?
Yes, yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah, so somebody from your side can take a few pictures, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because I will not be able to take pictures while I am taking the session and I
Sure.
need it for our math purpose. So,
Not a problem. I don't think so that would be a problem, Anupam sir. I think that will be taken care of.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, sure. Thank you.
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, okay. So, should I share my screen?
Yes, ma'am. But I would like to just
Yeah,
take
sure.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
2 minutes, ma'am.
yeah, sure.
All right. So we are really very glad that we have with us Professor Meenu Mehta. Once again, I would like to greet everyone. A very good morning to everyone, to all the dignitaries, faculty members, and all dear students. I welcome you all to the second session of the second day of Induction Program 2023. I would like to address Professor Meenu Mehta, who has more than 30 years of experience. She is presently working with NMIMS, deemed to be university, as Associate Dean and Professor for School of Commerce. Moreover, she is a TEDx speaker and trainer. Ma'am, please enlighten us with your words of wisdom.
Thank you so much, Nirmala ma'am. And
A
a
pleasure,
warm
ma'am.
good morning to everyone. Thank you so much to Haldia Institute for inviting me. I have taken so many sessions over here that I almost feel as if, I'm a full-time faculty at Haldia. And I will just be sharing my screen. So give me a moment. Please tell me if the screen is visible.
No, ma'am. Not
No?
yet.
No?
Not yet. No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Then what do I do? Is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Um, Ma'am, now?
Sorry to say, ma'am. No.
Present now. Is it visible now, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, I think you need to share your screen.
Entire screen, right, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm sharing my entire screen. Share. And is it visible now, sir?
Yes, yes.
Visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So are we good to start?
Absolutely, ma'am, please.
Very nice. So, good morning, dear students. And we have around 1 hour's time. And in this 1 hour's time, we will try to understand what does happiness mean. And as engineering students, is it possible for us to manufacture happiness, to make happiness a part of our lives? I will be very happy if this turns out to be an interactive session. So, Nirmala ma'am, are students having the capability of unmuting themselves and talking? Is that possible?
Actually, ma'am, the presentation will be streamed on YouTube.
Okay, fine. So, as of now, we do not have live audience.
No.
Ma'am,
Yes, definitely. We are. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Anupam sir, please.
Yeah, ma'am. We are going to moderate the chat questions. I mean, chat question means the YouTube chat questions.
Okay, fine. That's okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
I mean, you guys are the audience as of now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So I am
Yes, ma'am.
starting now. I mean, in case you want to put it on YouTube, then put it from this time. The earlier part, maybe you can edit or something. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And see some of the things that unfolded thanks to technology in say the last 2 to 3 years, especially during the corona pandemic. So all of us are aware that 2020, once the lockdown was announced because of the pandemic, what happened was within a period of say a week, most of the schools and colleges were able to move to online classes. Now, it was something which we would have never ever imagined. And yes, EdTech as a business has been around for quite some time, but it will get mainstreamed. That was not something which we had thought would happen so soon. Similarly, there were other areas where we found a lot of integration of technology. So we have something like health tech, med tech, retail tech, and so on. In fact, what we find is technology and business have become so integrated that the old way of selling things, the old way of reaching out to customers, the old way of doing business seems extremely outdated. Whereas just a few years back, it was the way we lived. Now, if you look at the picture, what you will find is the 3D printer, which is actually printing food. Yes, printing food. So, as all of us are aware, 3D printers, given the right type of instructions and the right type of raw materials, can manufacture anything. And so, here you have a 3D printer creating a dish for you. So, now my question is, with so much of advancement in technology, are we a happy society? Are we happier than early? So let us step back a little bit and see over the past few years how has technology brought about changes. तो अगर हम थोड़ा सा पीछे जाएं और हम देखना शुरू करें अपने हिस्ट्री में, so, what do we find? We started our life as hunters, we went on to become farmers, we fought wars, we went about exploring different continents, we developed so much of skills, we set up big businesses, we set up big corporations, and because of technology over a period of time, what we find is we have become more and more complex in the way we live our lives and in the way we define progress. So right from the invention of fire till say the popularization and mainstreaming of devices like cell phones, it has been a very big leap of technology. If you speak to your grandparents, they will be telling you about what an integral part of their daily life was the postman. The postman was such an awaited person and such an important person of the society, because we would all wait for a handwritten letter to come from our near and dear ones. Now, typically, a letter would take something like a week, depending, of course, upon the distance, to reach from the place of origin to the targeted place. Now, imagine from that time to today's time, when all you need is to open your cell phone and you send a message, and instantly the message reaches the destination. And what has happened to that old method of writing letters? Suddenly what we find is that it has become irrelevant. The same story we have found when it comes to devices like typewriters, the radio, the telegraph, and so on. So that means technology actually has made us a far more advanced people. Technology has given us powers which 3-4 जनरेशन पहले हमने कभी सोचा ही नहीं होगा, और हमको ऐसा लगता होगा कि अगर हम अपने एंसेस्टर्स को बुलाएं, अगर हम 2-3 जनरेशन पहले वाले, मे बी योर ग्रेट ग्रैंड फादर एंड ग्रेट ग्रैंड मदर, अगर वो अभी आपको विजिट करने के लिए आए, उनका एक्सपीरियंस क्या होगा? दे विल फील एज इफ वी लिव इन अ मैजिकल लैंड. आप वॉक करते हो और सेंसर की वजह से लाइट ऑन हो जाती है. You walk and the doors open on their own. And there are so many big and small ways in which technology has given us access to powers which we never even imagined a few years back. Imagine talking to somebody across continents in real time. The message is going from here to there. And you are not merely talking, you are also able to see the person. I mean, the power that video phone has given to us. In fact, right now, this session which we are holding, I am sitting in Mumbai, a suburb of Mumbai called Vileparle. And you are in Haldia, which is in West Bengal. I mean, imagine hundreds of kilometers away, and yet in real time whatever I am speaking is accessible to you. तो ठीक है, टेक्नोलॉजी ने इतना सारा पावर्स हमको दिया और इतना हमारे लाइफ में फेरबदल लेके आए. द मूट क्वेश्चन इज, आर वी हैप्पी टुडे देन वी वर प्रीवियसली? तो इसके लिए थोड़ा सा हम लोग हैप्पीनेस को लेकर जो एक पॉपुलर परसेप्शन है, हाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल थिंक अबाउट हैप्पीनेस, तो उनको क्या लगता है, व्हाट इज हैप्पी, हु इज हैप्पी, और व्हाट मेक्स अस हैप्पी? So as per popular understanding, happiness has a correlation with wealth. तो हमको ऐसा क्या लगता है कि अगर हमारे पास पैसा होगा तो हम हैप्पी हो जाएंगे. Another marker of happiness is professional success. So we hanker for a good job, we always look forward to promotions, और हमको क्या लगता है कि प्रमोशन हो जाएगा, एक बड़ा हमारा स्टेटस हो जाएगा और फिर हम हैप्पी हो जाएंगे. Some of us correlate fame with happiness. तो हमको लगता है कि अगर फेमस हो गए एंड सब लोग हमको जानते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली फिर हम हैप्पी हो ही जाएंगे. एंड एक और पॉपुलर परसेप्शन है हैप्पीनेस को लेके, और वो है लग्जरीज. कि मतलब एक बड़ा घर अगर हमारे पास है, अगर एक बड़ी कार हमारे पास है, अगर सुख सुविधा का पूरा जो साधन है, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज देयर विद अस, देन वी बिकम happy. In fact, if I were to ask you, why have you taken admission for engineering program at Haldia Institute of Technology? And I'm very sure it was not easy taking admission. I mean, imagine करो आप कब से पढ़ाई कर रहे हो. इन ऑर्डर टू रीच दिस कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग आपने कितने साल पढ़ाई में डाले होंगे? 12 years तो सीधा सीधा फ्रॉम इफ वी स्टार्ट काउंटिंग फ्रॉम क्लास 1 टू क्लास 12, उसके पहले आपने कुछ जूनियर के जी नर्सरी कुछ तो किया होगा. लेट अस इमेजिन 2 years 3 years. So 15 years का पढ़ाई करके you reached Bachelor of Engineering program, and you will be spending a good 4 years over here. So अगर 15 years की पढ़ाई हो गई तो 19 years. Why have you taken admission in this college? And आपको already पता ही होगा that taking admission is not a guarantee कि आप अच्छे मार्क्स के साथ पास हो जाओगे. ये तो फर्स्ट स्टेप है ना. So that means these 4 years what is required, आपको बहुत सारा हार्ड वर्क करना है और ये जानते हुए भी आप एडमिशन ले रहे हो. सो नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज आप ये क्यों कर रहे हो? इफ आई वर टू आस्क अ क्वेश्चन तो बाय डिफॉल्ट जो आंसर आता है वो क्या आता है? आई वांट टू लीड अ गुड लाइफ. सो बाय बिकमिंग एन इंजीनियर, are you going to lead a good life? Is there a guarantee? So what answer normally people students give is कि या क्योंकि इंजीनियरिंग करने के बाद हमको अच्छा प्लेसमेंट मिल जाएगा, हमको अच्छा जॉब मिल जाएगा. तो अच्छा जॉब एंड हैप्पीनेस, इसका क्या कोरिलेशन है? इफ वी स्टार्ट डिगिंग लिटिल मोर, देन व्हाट यू विल फाइंड इज व्हाट एवर वी हैव मेंशन्ड ऑन द स्लाइड, उसी के आसपास के आंसर्स रिस्पॉन्सेस हमको मिलेंगे. इफ वी गेट अ गुड जॉब वी विल बी अर्निंग मोर, वी विल हैव अ बिगर हाउस, वी विल हैव अ बेटर कार, वी विल बी प्रोफेशनली सक्सेसफुल. और हमको ऐसा लगता है कि ये सब होने के साथ साथ क्या हो जाएगा? वी आर गोइंग टू बिकम हैप्पी. ओके, अब देखो ये स्लाइड पे क्या हो रहा है. On this slide we have some very famous people, and maybe many of you are able to recognize some of these people. So whom do we have? Who are these celebrities? तो ये स्लाइड में कुछ ऐसे फेमस लोग हैं. सो फेम एंड हैप्पीनेस, ठीक है. Most of these were very rich people also. So richness and happiness. Most of these people also enjoyed luxuries of life. तो luxury and happiness, जो पुराने स्लाइड पर हम लोगों ने पैरामीटर्स ड्रॉ आउट किए थे, you know, in the context of that, when we start looking, what do we find? What happened to these celebrities? Some of them, despite their fame, committed suicide. Some of them, despite being extremely successful, became patients of depression and developed mental health issues. Some of them, despite being very famous and very rich and very wealthy and leading good luxurious lives, could not live with their partners and had a divorce. And then we have a special category of people who are extremely rich. Okay, and what have they done? So they have put up a case against their own family members. So the father and son are fighting over some piece of business. And then we have some super rich, super successful people. उनका current status क्या है? Either they are fugitives. Okay, so they are on a self-imposed exile. They are not in the country, or they are imprisoned. So what went wrong? They had all the trappings of success. जो भी हमको लगा था कि happiness के लिए जो भी raw material है, जो भी ingredient है, वो सब इन सब के पास था. So then what happened? Why whatever these people had was not able to guarantee them happiness? इस क्वेश्चन को लेकर आप थोड़ा सा सोचेंगे. Okay, now when it comes to happiness, the society around us has done a lot of hard work, and over a period of time different people thought differently, and उन्होंने क्या बोला? उन्होंने कहा कि जो हमारा आइडिया है ना, that is going to guarantee happiness to people. अगर आप हमारी बात सुनोगे तो आप हैप्पी हो जाओगे. तो उनकी बात सुनने के चक्कर में क्या हो गया? So many types of systems came up. So certain countries developed the system of dictatorship. In certain other countries, there was democracy. Now, coming to these were political systems. Coming to economic systems, in certain places, people experimented with capitalism. So they said that an individual has a right to decide the course of your own life. आप अपना हार्डवर्क के साथ जो भी आप पैसे अर्न कर सकते हो, that is going to decide your status. And आप हैप्पी हो जाओ, आपको पूरा फ्रीडम है. फिर ऐसा लगा कि कैपिटलिज्म में तो लोग हैप्पी नहीं हो पा रहे, बिकॉज कैपिटलिज्म में क्या हो रहा था, कैपिटलिज्म में द सोसाइटी वाज गेटिंग डिवाइडेड इनटू द रिच एंड पुअर. सो दे सेड कि ऐसा होगा तो फिर हैप्पीनेस नहीं होगा, तो फिर क्या किया जाए, तो सिस्टम को चेंज करते हैं. सो अ न्यू सिस्टम केम अप एंड द न्यू सिस्टम वाज सोशलिज्म. फिर हमने बहुत साल सोशलिज्म के साथ एक्सपेरिमेंट किया. हम लोगों ने बोला कि रिच एंड पुअर का जो डिफरेंस है ना, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट पीपल आर नॉट हैप्पी, तो हम ये दूरी को मिटा देंगे. तो हम कैसे मिटाएंगे ये दूरी? हम ऐसा करेंगे, we take away all the means of production. The ownership and control of the means of production will no longer be with the people, but it will rest with the government. So government becomes the owner of all the resources. And as individuals, आपको क्या करना है? आपको government के लिए काम करना है. Because of this, what will happen? Because of this, there will be equality in the society. So, Russia, the old USSR, and a lot of other countries around, उन लोगों ने सोशलिज्म को लेकर एक्सपेरिमेंट किया कि चलो फिर हम देखें कि हम हैप्पी हो गए. सो कुड सोशलिज्म गारंटी हैप्पीनेस? द आंसर इज नो, because 1991 USSR broke down, they gave up on socialism and they went back to capitalism. Mid 1940s, by around the time when India was getting independent, a new system came up and that was called as mixed economy. और ऐसा माना जाने लगा कि मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी विल गारंटी हैप्पीनेस, क्योंकि मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी ने क्या किया, वी बोरोड सर्टेन आइडियाज फ्रॉम कैपिटलिज्म एंड सर्टेन आइडियाज फ्रॉम सोशलिज्म. So what we said was कि we will have a coexistence of public sector along with private sector. So private individuals can also run their business, the government will also run the business, and government will make sure that the inequalities in the society are not so great. People will become happy. So India adopted mixed economy post independence. So now the question is, could we guarantee happiness of the people? Are our people happy today? And you know, अगर हम एक्चुअली देखने जाएं तो हमको लगता है कि अरे हैप्पीनेस तो कहीं ना कहीं, यू नो, वी लॉस्ट ट्रैक ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, कहीं खो गया हैप्पीनेस. सो व्हेन वी लुक एट इंडिविजुअल्स, तो जो प्रीवियस स्लाइड था उसमें हमने क्या देखा कि फेम, लग्जरी, the existence of professional success, earning a lot of wealth at an individual level does not guarantee happiness to everybody. Now, at the level of society, if we look around what is happening today in our society, are we a happy society? तो अगर हम अपने आजू बाजू देखने जाते हैं तो हमको क्या नजर में आता है? What we find is that you know, we do not seem to be a very happy society, because हमारे आजू बाजू क्या हो रहा है? People are very angry. Have you seen these days people are ready to get offended at anything and everything. आप कुछ बोलो and there is a guarantee कोई ना कोई आपकी बात सुनकर उसको बुरा लगने ही वाला है. So there's so much of angst in our society. You know, people exhibit a lot of opposition against each other. लोग एक दूसरे के खिलाफ हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ चल के राजी नहीं हैं. We are interested in dominating others by our views. Now what does that mean? That means कि हमारे लिए बहुत important हो गया है कि जो मेरा सच है ना वही complete सच है. And it is not enough कि मुझे समझ में आ गया कि मेरा सच क्या है. It is very important for me कि आप भी मानो कि मेरा सच ही correct सच है. Okay? So that means जो आप अभी तक सोचते आए हो वो गलत है. And till the time you understand and accept that, I'm not going to be happy. Now, this line of thinking guarantees that nobody is happy, because I cannot be happy till you accept what I think is correct. वो आप क्यों एक्सेप्ट करोगे? So till the time you accept, I am not going to be happy, and you are never going to accept. Even if you accept, there will be other people around you who are not going to agree, because diversity of thinking is natural to human beings. We all think differently. So when we look around, what we find is that we are divided by hierarchies of rich and poor, educated and uneducated, rural and urban, मेल एंड फीमेल, डार्क स्किन्ड एंड फेयर स्किन. कितने तरह का हम लोगों ने हायरार्कीज बना लिया और हमने अपने आप को डिवाइड कर दिया. एंड देयर इज टू बी अ वेरी बिग क्वेश्चन मार्क. तो चलो हम थोड़ा सा प्लैनेट की तरफ देखें. Individual level, we could not guarantee happiness. At the level of society, we do not seem to be a very happy society. What is happening to planet Earth? When it comes to planet Earth, what we find is there is a tremendous loss of biodiversity. So many species of flora and fauna have gone extinct. Not only that, because of whatever actions we have undertaken, we have led to pollution at multiple levels. So our soil is polluted, our water bodies are polluted, our water tables have gone down, we have depleted natural resources, our air is polluted, and all around us, what have we done? We have created a mess with the natural balance of the planet. Now imagine, human beings are supposed to be the most intelligent of all the species that live on this planet. If you are someone who is most intelligent, आपको नहीं लगता कि इंटेलिजेंस एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को एक साथ आना चाहिए? राइट? इंटेलिजेंस और मेच्योरिटी, इसको भी एक साथ आना चाहिए, है ना? दैट मीन्स अगर आप सबसे इंटेलिजेंट हो तो समवेयर यू आर ऑल्सो रिस्पॉन्सिबल इन ensuring that you don't encroach upon the habitat and the lifestyles of other species. लेकिन हमने क्या किया? हमने अपना मेच्योरिटी को समझा ही नहीं, हमने अपना रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को समझा ही नहीं. इनफैक्ट जस्ट अ फ्यू डेज बैक, आई एम श्योर ऑल ऑफ अस हैव विटनेस्ड द हॉरिबल सीन्स ऑफ फ्लड्स इन हिमाचल प्रदेश. वो एक वीडियो वायरल हुआ था, एंड आई एम श्योर मेनी ऑफ यू वुड हैव सीन हाउ entire houses in Shimla were just falling down like a pack of cards, and वो पूरा का पूरा flood के अंदर बह रहा था. What does that show? I mean, are we a happy planet, and are these actions of happy people? इसको जब हम देखने जाते हैं तो हमको एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क हमारे सामने आता है. And again we come back to the question with which I started the presentation, and that was the role of technology in making people happy. Now today, all of us are bestowed with tremendous power thanks to technology. Thanks to technology, हम लोग सबके पास एक मैजिक वॉन्ड आ गया है जिसका नाम है इंटरनेट, जिसका नाम है कनेक्टिविटी. Now, because of this connectivity, क्या हुआ है? Because of this connectivity, it is possible for you to have a real-time chat with a friend who is sitting in a remote corner in US, and another friend who is sitting in a remote corner, say in Japan, and a third friend who is in Poland. आपका ग्रुप है चैट का, 4 different friends in 4 different corners of the world, और आप एक दूसरे के साथ बात कर रहे हो, एंड आपको वो बात करने में इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है. लेकिन आपके चैटिंग के टाइम सपोज योर मदर peeps into your room and asks you what is happening, what is your reaction? Are we very happy at that time? So what am I trying to tell you? That all of us, thanks to technology, have somewhere lost our ability to have meaningful conversations with real human beings who are in our vicinity. तो वो ऑनलाइन होने का जो कंफर्ट हमको आ गया है, थैंक्स टू दैट ऑफलाइन लाइफ का हम लोगों ने मिस बना दिया है. एंड is it easy for you people to sit in a class? क्योंकि क्लास में लेक्चर में एक रूल जो हर एक स्कूल कॉलेज में होता है वो क्या होता है? यू कैन नॉट एक्सेस योर मोबाइल फोन्स. एंड हाउ डू यू फील व्हेन यू आर नॉट given the chance to access your mobile phone? You feel lost, you feel irritated, है ना? जबकि वो एक ही घंटे का क्लास है और वो एक ही घंटे के क्लास में ऐसा कौन सा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज आ सकता है आपको which is so important that you are not even paying attention to what the teacher is teaching. And suppose you don't pay attention, the chances are that you are going to mess up with your performance in the exams. अगर एडमिशन लिया है तो एग्जाम्स भी तो होने ही वाले हैं ना. आज नहीं होंगे बट थोड़ा वीक के बाद होंगे, थोड़ा मंथ्स के बाद होंगे, है ना. So what has happened is, whether we believe or not, we have become a people who are addicted. And what happens to people who are addicted? Expecting rational behavior from these people becomes a tough task. And the addiction to technology is such, I mean, imagine आपको यही समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि your grandparent is having very limited time left in his lifespan, एंड अगर आप उनके पास बैठकर उनसे चार बातें अभी नहीं करेंगे तो वो चांस हमेशा के लिए चला जाएगा. बट somehow, you know, we have lost our ability to prioritize, and human relationships have received lower priority, and entertainment which is not even making us better people, वो टिकटॉक का रील, वो माइंडलेस सर्फिंग ऑन ट्विटर, वो इंस्टाग्राम के ऊपर 3-3 घंटा जो आप स्पेंड कर रहे हो, आई मीन व्हाट इज द आउटपुट, वेयर इज इट लीडिंग अस? नाउ दीज आर सम थिंग्स दैट वी नीड टू आस्क आवरसेल्व्स एंड थिंक अबाउट. So technology का ability to make us happy again is a very big question mark. What have businesses done to make us happy? अब ये businesses का जो रोल है ना to make us happy, ये भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. When do businesses succeed? जो हम लोगों का current understanding है, a successful business is what? A successful business is that entity which is able to sell more and more units of its good or service, right? Now, when is that going to happen? That is going to happen if the business is able to convince you that right now आप जो भी जिंदगी जी रहे हो ना वो अच्छी नहीं है. That means business का फायदा कब है? तभी होगा if they are able to develop in you an eternal feeling of dissatisfaction. You know, if I become happy with myself, then I am fine with the way things are right now. That means मुझे वो जो नया प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में आया है मुझे उसकी जरूरत नहीं लग रही. अगर ऐसा होगा तो what happens to those businesses? उनका प्रोडक्ट कौन खरीदेगा, है ना? So if we look around, what are these businesses doing? They are only promoting a feeling of dissatisfaction, and they are telling us कि जब तक आपके पास हमारा प्रोडक्ट नहीं होगा आप हैप्पी नहीं होगे. चलो हमने ले लिया उनका प्रोडक्ट, तो now what? Have you become happy? No, because another product comes up. And what is that another product trying to tell us? कि आप जल्दी से ले लो because enough units are not there in the market, right? What are the banks trying to tell us? देखो हर कोई ना आपको कुछ ना कुछ बेचने की कोशिश कर रहा है. So the banks are telling you कि जो भी पैसा आप कमा रहे हो ना, दैट इज नॉट इनफ, यू हैव स्कैरसिटी ऑफ मनी, तो हम आपको लोन देंगे। और ये लोन लेकर आप क्या करोगे? ये लोन लेकर आप लग्जरी कार खरीदोगे, आप एक बड़ा घर खरीदोगे, आप उसके अंदर सब लग्जरी का सामान लेकर आओगे। आई जस्ट वॉन्ट यू टू थिंक, इमेजिन, आप एसी ऑन करके आपके बड़े सारे लग्जूरियस ड्राइंग रूम में एक बहुत कंफर्टेबल सोफा के ऊपर बैठे हुए, ठीक है? इज दैट अ गारंटी ऑफ हैप्पीनेस? इफ आपके बाजू में जो आपकी सिस्टर बैठी है, या आपका ब्रदर बैठा है, या आपके पेरेंट्स बैठे हैं, उनके साथ 15 मिनट पहले आपका झगड़ा हुआ है, you know, you are feeling extremely bad because of whatever argument and whatever quarrel you had with your loved ones a little while ago. And no matter how luxurious the carpet is, or how cool the AC makes the room, are you still going to be happy? And let us imagine, if ये सब चीजें नहीं हो लेकिन आपका रिलेशनशिप ठीक हो, तो हम लोग शायद फ्लोर पे बैठ के भी हैप्पी हो सकते हैं, है ना? सो कैन बिजनेसेस गारंटी हैप्पीनेस टू अस? इनफैक्ट ये बिजनेसेस ने अपनी चीजों को पुश करके हमारे तरफ, व्हाट हैव दे डन? इट हैज गिवन राइज टू नथिंग बट माइंडलेस कंज्यूमरिज्म एंड मटेरियलिज्म। व्हाट डज दैट मीन? एक छोटा सा एक्सपेरिमेंट करके देखते हैं। आप अपना कबर्ड खोलो, ठीक है, और आप गेस करो आपके पास कितने ड्रेसेस हैं। उसके बाद आपको क्या करना है? उसके बाद आपको एक्चुअली आपके सारे ड्रेसेस निकालने हैं और आपको उनको काउंट करना है। what will you understand, what will you find? You know, for many of us, we will not even be able to make a good guess about how many dresses or apparels we have in our own wardrobe. हमारे wardrobes भरे होते हैं कपड़ों के साथ। एंड इसके बावजूद अगर आपको आज शाम को इनविटेशन आ जाए कि आपको किसी पार्टी में जाना है, by default, what is the first question that begins to disturb you, that starts haunting you? The first question is, I don't have anything to wear. I mean, if your wardrobe is full of clothes, how come you have nothing to wear? So, वो जो nothing to wear का feeling है ना, वो कहाँ से आया? उसका मतलब क्या हुआ? उसका मतलब हुआ कि वो जो भी बिजनेसेस आपको और ज्यादा डिजाइनर क्लोथ्स, एक्सपेंसिव क्लोथ्स सेल करने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं, दे हैव सक्सीडेड, है ना? नाउ टू लिव अ रेगुलर लाइफ, कितना हम लोगों को ड्रेसेस का जरूरत हो सकता है? 7 days in a week. So how many dresses do you think on an average a person needs? Now I'm sure it is going to differ from person to person, but एक रफ अंदाजा आप लगाने की कोशिश करो। You don't want तो खराब होने वाला नहीं है, लेट मी बाय, काम आ जाएगा, एंड सो ऑन। Now imagine, because of this, what has happened? Because of this, our world is producing much more than the actual requirement of the global population. That means, and this is true for anything and everything, That means we have more cars than the actual need of the people. We have more clothes than the actual needs of the people. We have more furniture than the actual requirement of the people. Now what happens if there is overproduction? ये ओवर प्रोडक्शन जो हो रहा है उसका मीनिंग क्या है? उसका मीनिंग है कि आपने रिसोर्सेस को ओवर एक्सप्लॉइट किया है ना. वो जो एक्स्ट्रा फर्नीचर बना वो कैसे बना? So what are you doing? You are over consuming the resources, and over consumption means what? That means आपने अपनी जरूरत से ज्यादा ले लिया प्लैनेट से. और इसका इम्प्लीकेशन क्या होगा? दैट मीन्स जो कमिंग जनरेशन है, हम लोगों ने उनका हिस्सा भी अपने कंजम्पशन के लिए यूज कर लिया. सो दैट मीन्स जो हमारा इर्रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, I mean, imagine to what levels we are going. As we are supposed to be, again I'm repeating, the most intelligent species on the planet. We have not shown maturity when it comes to our relationship with other fellow species, our plant brothers and our animal brothers. हमने उनकी चिंता नहीं की, चलो ठीक है. हमने अपने आने वाले बच्चों की चिंता भी नहीं की, बिकॉज हम लोग वो ठीक ठाक आकलन ही नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. वी आर नॉट एबल टू एस्टिमेट द एक्चुअल रिक्वायरमेंट and have the maturity of taking how much we actually need. इसके लिए ना एक छोटा सा एक्सपेरिमेंट करना. नेक्स्ट टाइम आप किसी पार्टी या शादी में जाओगे ना, तो आप देखना कि वो जो बुफे लगा होता है, हाउ पीपल बिहेव. They will take this plate and that plate will be overstuffed with the food. इतना खाना आप खा भी सकोगे कि नहीं? और वो जो नहीं आपने खाना खाया उसका क्या हुआ? अगर हम लोग अंदाजा लगाने जाएं, मे बी वी विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट द फूड दैट वी आर वेस्टिंग इज मच मोर देन द फूड दैट वी आर एक्चुअली कंज्यूमिंग. अगर आप इस तरह से रिसोर्सेज का मिसयूज करते ही जाएंगे हम लोग और उसको बंद नहीं करेंगे, आई मीन ऑब्वियसली विच डायरेक्शन आर वी हेडिंग टूवर्ड्स? वी आर गोइंग टू मेक आवरसेल्व्स सिक. इनफैक्ट वी हैव मेड. एक टर्म सुना होगा आपने, लाइफस्टाइल डिजीजेस. नाउ व्हाट आर दीज लाइफस्टाइल डिजीजेस? दैट मीन्स द डिजीजेस which we have acquired thanks to a faulty lifestyle. So we are a sick people living on a sick planet, and we are trying so hard to be happy. तो जरा कोशिश करें सोचने की कि फिर ये हैप्पीनेस है क्या? हैप्पीनेस पोजेशन से नहीं आता, ये हमने देखा. हैप्पीनेस वेल्थ से नहीं आता, हैप्पीनेस फेम से नहीं आता. सो व्हाट इज हैप्पीनेस? व्हेन एक्चुअली आर वी हैप्पी? आप नेक्स्ट टाइम जब हैप्पी होगे ना, जस्ट check yourself, just try to ask yourself right now what is the state in which I am, and you will find what is happiness. Happiness is the absence of contradictions and opposition. That means जब आपका किसी के साथ कोई झगड़ा नहीं है, जब आपके ऊपर कोई ऐसा दबाव नहीं है कि आपने दूसरे को चैलेंज करना है या आपने दूसरे को कन्विंस करना है. ओके, सो देयर इज नो फीलिंग ऑफ ऑपोजिशन, देयर इज नो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन वी आर एक्चुअली हैप्पी. और हम हैप्पीनेस के लिए कितना कुछ कर रहे थे, जबकि ये समझ में आया कि हैप्पीनेस कहाँ से मिलता है. हैप्पीनेस इज अ मेंटल स्टेट. And what is the defining character of this mental state? Absence of opposition and absence of contradiction. That means जब आप अपने आप में सुलझे हुए होते हैं. That means when you, one idea in your head is not fighting another idea, so there is no contradiction. So there is no contradiction in your head, and there is no feeling of opposition which you are experiencing with respect to people around you. तो जब ये ऐसा हो जाए, that guarantees happiness. We all said that wealth, being wealthy is one of the markers of happiness. Wealthy and being prosperity, इसमें फर्क होता है. क्या फर्क होता है being wealthy and being prosperous में? Who is prosperous? Prosperity का feeling कब आता है? Prosperity का feeling तब आता है when I feel that I have much more than my requirement. Okay, when I feel that I have more than my need, I feel prosperous, and this prosperity gives me happiness. I'll give you an example. आपके घर में कोई गेस्ट आए और वो आपको बता कर नहीं आए, वो सडनली आ गए आपके घर में. ओके, आई एम श्योर फॉर सम टाइम यू फील हैसल्ड कि अरे आप बता के नहीं आए, आई वॉज नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड एंड सो ऑन, बट स्टिल आप क्या करोगे? वो गेस्ट तो आ गए, एंड वो जो गेस्ट है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट गेस्ट हैं, वो आपके बहुत करीब के रिश्तेदार हैं और आपका उनके साथ बहुत अच्छा संबंध है. ओके, सो नाउ दीज पीपल हैव कम होम, तो आप क्या करने वाले हो? आप बोलेंगे ना कि खाना खाते हैं साथ में, है ना? अब आपने उनके लिए तो खाना बनाया नहीं होगा बिकॉज यू वर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग देम. सो व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू डू? आर यू गोइंग टू स्टार्ट टेलिंग देम कि आप बता कर नहीं आए तो खाना तो अब आपके लिए बनेगा नहीं, तो ठीक है आप बात कर लो और उसके बाद आप बाहर जाके खाना खा लेना? ऐसा नहीं करोगे ना. आप क्या करोगे? आप उनको बोलेंगे कि आप 15 मिनट बैठिए, मेरे पास ये सब्जी ऑलरेडी बनी हुई है, मुझे और 2 रोटी बनानी है, एंड देन ऑल ऑफ अस विल सिट एंड ईट. यू नो, this is a feeling of prosperity. That means कहीं ना कहीं आपके दिमाग में क्या है, that I have enough not only for my needs but I also have some extra, and with this extra whatever it is that I have, it is possible for me to make my guest happy. It is possible for me to offer a good decent level of hospitality. And you know, sometimes what we do, sometimes very happily, we are willing to sacrifice our own share to make others happy. है ना? आपके घर में गेस्ट आ गए अचानक से, आपको तो आइडिया भी नहीं था. मे बी some of the things you have made, but let us imagine that राइस थोड़ा कम है. आप क्या करोगे? रोटी आपने फटाफट बना दी, बट राइस बना हुआ था और वो थोड़ा सा कम है. What will you do? You will serve them. And you have not eaten any rice and yet you are feeling so good. Why are you feeling so good? Because देखो वो है happiness. And happiness is the power that makes you feel that it is possible for me not only to have enough for myself, because रोटी तो खा ली ना मैंने, हाँ ठीक है, today I did not have rice but रोटी खा ली मैंने, तो ठीक है ना, I am happy. And I am much more happy because I was able to offer it to my guest. सोचो, कहाँ तो हम सोच रहे थे कि earning more money, you know, buying a bigger house, buying a more luxurious house, that is going to make us happiness. और कहाँ हमको ये समझ में आ रहा है that actual happiness lies in sharing. Actual happiness lies in doing something for somebody else, right? अगर ये हैप्पीनेस का मीनिंग हमको समझ में आ जाए, so now what happens? Now you know a very big change takes place. And what is that very big change? That very big change is, first of all, mindful consumption. मुझे जरूरत भी है क्या? You know, before buying something, is it possible for us to stop and ask ourselves, yeah ठीक है, वो it is nice, it is very good, but do I actually need it? मुझे जरूरत है भी क्या उस चीज की? और अगर मुझे जरूरत नहीं है, can I be brave enough to say no? That means there is a sale, और वो सेल में let us imagine एक बहुत beautiful dinner set, a very expensive dinner set is available at say a very attractive price. You have the money, it is possible for you to purchase it, but you stop yourself and you ask, do I actually need it? मुझे जरूरत है क्या? I have enough vessels at home, और मुझे नहीं चाहिए. You know, mindful consumption. Because of mindful consumption, what happens? The tremendous amount of wastage which we see around today, maybe that wastage can be reduced. Now from mindful consumption we move to the concept of mindful production. अब ये तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. क्यों डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है? बिकॉज यहाँ पे वो जो बड़े बड़े बिजनेसेस हैं ना, जो बड़े बड़े कॉरपोरेशंस हैं, द एग्जिस्टिंग बिजनेस पैराडाइम ऑफ दीज एंटिटीज needs to be questioned. What exactly is a successful business? And by pushing more and more goods and services towards the people, by always making them feel dissatisfied, by forcing them to buy goods and services जिनका शायद उनको जरूरत भी नहीं है, उनको वो चाहिए भी नहीं, but still आप उनको पुश कर रहे हो. Are you doing a service to the people? Are you doing a service to the planet? So that means from mindful consumption, the journey becomes a little more difficult, but it is not impossible, because ultimately जो कंजम्पशन करता है वो प्रोडक्शन के साथ भी तो जुड़ा ही हुआ है ना, right? So from mindful consumption to mindful production. And what does mindful production do? Mindful production shows us the path to sustainability. So what is sustainability? Sustainability is our ability to live meaningful, good lives for ourselves and also ensure meaningful and good lives for the future generations. That means सारा का सारा पानी मुझे आज ही कंज्यूम नहीं करना है, मुझे आने वाले generations के लिए भी पानी बचा के रखना है, right? आजकल there is a very big talk about non-renewable sources of energy. Non-renewable means what? कि वो पूरा का पूरा खर्च हो जाएगा. Imagine आपने वो पूरा खर्चा कर दिया, you spent all of it, and the future generations have got nothing. I mean, it's a very sad state, isn't it? So from mindful consumption to mindful production, and from mindful production to mindful management of resources. This is the journey of happiness, whereby we are able to give importance not only to our own needs, but also to the needs of future generations, also to the needs of our brothers and sisters who belong to a different species, the plants and animals, जो कि आप देखने जाओ तो उनका भी प्लैनेट के रिसोर्सेज के ऊपर उतना ही हक है ना जितना हमारा है, राइट? What is happening to the ice belt in Antarctica? What is happening to the ice cap of the Himalaya mountains? What is happening to the sea levels? What is happening to the global temperature? The ozone layer का depletion, कहीं ना कहीं all of that is a result of human actions, right? तो अगर हम लोग कोई चीजों को खराब कर सकते हैं तो हम वो जर्नी भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं ना, कि हम उन चीजों को रिपेयर कर देंगे, राइट? क्योंकि खराब हमने किया था तो रिपेयर भी हमको करना एटलीस्ट हमारी जिम्मेदारी तो बनती है. And the minute we start thinking about sustainable living and we start actually practicing sustainable living, perhaps in small measures, what happens is we are able to see the interconnectedness of all forms of life. See, whether it is the plants or the animals, our actions impact them, and their happiness and our happiness is interrelated. If the plant and animal species continue to be extinct, आपको लगता है the day is not very far when human race itself can become extinct, right? So the more connected we are to different forms of life, the more mindfully we will be living, and perhaps we will be happier as individuals, as a society, as a planet. So I'm leaving you with this question to think about, जो कि आपको बिजनेसेस बताते रहेंगे, या आपको जो सोसाइटी इन जनरल है हमारे आसपास, वो हमेशा दे ट्राई टू इम्प्रेस अपॉन अस, एंड व्हाट इज दैट? वी नेवर हैव इनफ. तो अभी हमारा घर छोटा है, फिर हमको बड़ा घर चाहिए। अभी गाड़ी छोटी है, फिर हमको बड़ी चाहिए। अभी हमारे पास कम कपड़े हैं, फिर हमको ज्यादा चाहिए। एंड ये सब करने के चक्कर में व्हाट डू वी फाइंड दैट वी नेवर हैव इनफ, वी नेवर हैव इनफ मनी, वी नेवर हैव इनफ टाइम, वी नेवर हैव इनफ एनर्जी, वी नेवर हैव इनफ रिसोर्सेज। So now the question is, are resources actually scarce? क्या सच्ची में आपके पास इनफ टाइम नहीं है, आपके पास इनफ मनी नहीं है, या वो मनी और टाइम जो ऑलरेडी आपके पास है आप उसका मीनिंगफुल यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं? एंड अगर आप उसका मीनिंगफुल यूज स्टार्ट करेंगे तो आपको शायद पता चले कि इतना वांट्स तो है ही नहीं। तो दैट मीन्स ये जो हम इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लाइफ बनाकर बैठे हैं, इज इट एक्चुअली नीडेड? सो आई एम लीविंग यू विद दिस क्वेश्चन। आई hope it was possible to inculcate in you the need for a tiny little change of perception, जो हम पहले सोचते थे और जो हम अब सोचने की शुरुआत कर सकते हैं। That means actually when we look around, इतना scarcity है नहीं। वाटर का स्कैरसिटी, टाइम का स्कैरसिटी, पैसे का स्कैरसिटी, शायद इतना स्कैरसिटी है नहीं। एंड वी आर एक्चुअली ब्लेस्ड विद अबंडेंस। लेकिन हमने क्या किया? बिकॉज ऑफ आवर ग्रीड एंड आवर इनएबिलिटी टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ मच इज इनफ, what are we doing? We are indulging in overconsumption, overproduction, mismanagement of resources, and perhaps that is making us unhappy. Now think about all those very very rich people जिनका फोटो हमने थोड़े टाइम के पहले देखा। Many of them, as I told you, are either outside the country, they ran away, they are fugitives, or they are imprisoned. अब इनको क्या कमी थी पैसे की? इतना पैसा तो था ना इनके पास, they could have lived happy lives. But then what happened? They wanted a little more, and greed never ends. So ये greed और need का जो difference है ना, that is something which we need to become mindful about. And the journey of happiness is actually very simple. And what is that? A voluntary simplification of life. Our ability to understand कि मेरा need कहाँ है और greed कहाँ से start हो जाता है, and my ability to say no. मुझे actually नहीं चाहिए। हाँ, आप जो बेच रहे हो वो बहुत अच्छा है, but मुझे जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे नहीं चाहिए। वो जो मेच्योरिटी है ना, दैट मेच्योरिटी and that sense of responsibility is something that we need to inculcate in case we are actually serious about becoming happy. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope I was able to give you some food for thought, right? तो जो आपके पास आधा घंटा है फ्री टाइम, अगर आप वो इंस्टाग्राम पे नहीं स्पेंड करके आप कहीं वॉक पे चले जाओ, आप झूला झूलने बैठ जाओ, आप पिकनिक पे चले जाओ, कुछ नहीं तो आप बैठ के मम्मी के साथ बातें कर लो, शायद आपको वो हाफ एन आवर में ज्यादा हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा। सो डू थिंक अबाउट इट, एंड थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Minu ma'am, for enriching us and showing us the pathway to happiness. Your words of wisdom has really touched our core, ma'am. And thank you so much once again. Ma'am, can we take one or two questions?
Yeah, sure, sir. I am. Yeah.
Ma'am, there is one question from the end of the students.
Yes, sir.
Can we
Uh,
buy happiness from a successful life? I don't know what is the meaning of the question, but can we buy happiness from a successful life?
I want you to answer that for me. आपको क्या लगता है? It is possible for you to buy happiness. If happiness could be bought, then all the people around us would have been very happy, है ना?
Yes, the
But
first thing
when
is
we,
that happiness is not a commodity that
yeah,
can be purchased from a market.
right. Happiness, I mean, if that was possible, then all of us would have been extremely happy. But when we look around, what do we find? A lot of things we are able to purchase, isn't it? But does that guarantee happiness? आपका जो हैप्पीनेस है वो बहुत ही फ्यू मिनट्स का हैप्पीनेस होता है ना? आपने नया फोन लिया, हाउ लॉन्ग डज दैट मेक यू हैप्पी? मे बी वन डे। आपने शो ऑफ कर लिया, आपने सबको दिखा दिया, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट डे वो पुराना हो गया, and it just becomes routine. It does not give us the amount of happiness which it gave us yesterday. So can happiness be bought? I have serious doubts.
Ma'am, there is one more question.
Yeah, sure.
That is, what do you think about private job versus government job? क्या government job वाले ज़्यादा happy रहते हैं?
कोई भी हैप्पी हो सकता है irrespective of the job that they do. So it is possible for somebody who is working as a housemaid to be as happy as somebody who is working as CEO or working as a bank manager in a nationalized bank. Job and happiness. Job is not a guarantor of happiness. हैप्पी आप तब बनेंगे जब आप अपने आप में सुलझे हुए होंगे, जब आपको समझ में आएगा कि आपका जरूरत कितना है और आप कंज्यूम कितना कर रहे हैं. सो a big house, a big car, a high status job, it is not a guarantor of happiness.
Ma'am, may I ask something?
Yeah, sure, sir. Please.
Ma'am, I think the line between need and greed is very blurry for most of us. So how do we decide that this is our need, and how do we know that when we are crossing the line?
Sir, it is going to be different for different people, but more or less हमको सबको एक अंदाजा तो होता है ना. When you are buying something, uh, do you ask yourself ये चाहिए क्या मुझे, and आपको एक ठीक ठाक सा आंसर आ जाता है ना,
Or
आपको
natural
समझ में
calling
आ
from
जाता है.
inside will tell me whether it's need or greed.
Yeah, sir. So all of us are blessed with this moral compass, with this inner understanding. And what have we done? हम लोगों ने वो जो inner voice है ना उसको suppress कर दिया है. We are not giving it a lot of importance. तो उसके ऊपर थोड़ा धूल मिट्टी जम गया
Yes,
है.
we have also lost the culture of introspection, I believe.
Yeah, so if we are just able to, again get back, connect with ourselves, perhaps a lot of questions will get answered.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, once
Good
again.
morning, madam. I have one question.
Yes, yes, sir.
Madam, for last 3-4 years, you are attached with us.
Yes, sir.
Can we assume that HIT is enough to ensure engineering happiness to our future students?
Sir, I'm extremely appreciative of the efforts you are doing. At least आप उनको path तो दिखा रहे हो happiness का. See, happiness is an attitude. Attitudes cannot be taught. Attitudes can be cultivated, right? So at the most, what we can do is create the right conditions. And when it comes to that, HIT is doing a wonderful job. In fact, I feel so privileged to be associated with HIT.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
It's an honor for us, ma'am, to have you with us.
It's an honor, sir, for me to get invited again and again. Yes, yes, sir.
So am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So once again, thank you on behalf of head of the Department of School of Applied Science. So madam, once again, I say thank you for your excellent deliberation on this topic of USC. We are extremely happy that you have accepted our invitation in very short notice. So once again, I thank you, and I hope you will visit our institute uh, at least one as soon as possible. So I hope our Dr. Rajiv Dubey, he will invite you, and he is shortly promoted as our dean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I hope he will invite very soon. So please keep in contact with us, and please accept our small invitation. So once again, thank you.
So congratulations, Rajibda. And yeah, I look forward to visiting HIT physically very soon. And thank you for inviting me. I feel as if I belong to HIT. I'm part of the HIT family. Thank you
And
so
we
much.
also feel the same, ma'am.
Thank you.
All professor are requested, please open your camera. We'll take a group photo. Please open.
And there
Those
is
who
an
are here,
announcement.
please open your
There
camera
is a
and we'll take a photo.
there is an announcement that after the next session, a feedback form will be provided for the students to be filled up.
Dubey sir, Subrata Panja sir, please. Are you ready? So thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So once again, an announcement for the students that a feedback form will be provided after the next session, that is the session from 11. Students are suggested to fill up the feedback form. Thank you. So we will be meeting again at 11 for the next session. So for the time being, thank you all.